How can this be? Bested by this thing?
I know what you're thinking. Did it toss 4 coins or only 3? Well, to tell you the truth, in this whole bloodbath, I kinda lost track myself. But this being the marksman, the most powerful revolver in hell, and would blow your wings clean off, you have got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
You insignificant!
When I started playing ULTRAKILL, the marksman seemed like the coolest weapon I've ever seen in a first-person shooter. It still is, and probably my favorite weapon ever, but I didn't realize how difficult it would be to actually hit the coins when learning how to use it. The key is to practice and not shy away from using it if you aren't hitting everything right away, but here are a few things you need to know when practicing. The trajectory of the coin will change depending on the direction you're moving. Moving forward with the coin will toss it far ahead of you. Moving back will toss it up close. Moving to the left and right will have it move in a diagonal direction respectively. If you don't move, as long as you're looking at the same direction, the coin will follow the same trajectory every time. Once you've got some practice down incorporating basic movement, try including jumping into the mix. Hitting coins and jumping is a great way to increase your style score for getting those sweet P ranks. Here are some important things to note. A coin will always move the same relative to you, and there is a dead time when initially tossing the coin. In regards to the coin trajectory, if you maintain a constant velocity, let's say we're flying forward and not holding any directional keys, the coin will follow the same trajectory as if you were standing still. The dead time is a period where the coin won't reflect a shot. If you toss a coin, then quickly fire and toss another, the first coin will target the second, but the second coin won't target anything. Coins will follow a specific priority list when shot. That means they will attempt to hit a specific target if it falls within the coin's line of sight. This is the priority list from highest to lowest priority. Coin to coin, coin to core eject grenades, coin to enemy weak points, if the enemy has one or if the weak point is in line of sight, coin to breakable glass. Regardless of the distance, as long as line of sight is maintained, the coin will follow this priority list. There are a few small exceptions to this, however. A coin will prioritize a charging enemy projectile over that enemy's weak point. Ricochets will not target specific enemies over others and will opt to hit the target closest to it with the highest priority. So we've looked at coin trajectory and coin priority. Before we move on to the other techniques, we need to discuss the differences between the alternate or slab marksman and the default marksman. The slab does a higher base damage than the default marksman, and this is true for the piercer variants as well. The slabs also have a slower rate of fire than the default version. The big difference between the default marksman and the slab marksman, however, is how they interact with coins. The default marksman has the ability to split shot when hitting the coin at a specific window. This causes the ricochet to split into two and hit 2 different targets. The slab marksman does not have this ability and instead can pierce through enemies or hit a single enemy multiple times depending on the target's health. The coins themselves act exactly the same. It's when they're shot with the slab or default marksman that the behavior changes. So if you run the slab marksman and the default piercer, you can perform split shots by tossing a coin then switching to the piercer. The same applies in reverse. You can shoot a default marksman coin with the slab piercer and the shot will penetrate an enemy. As stated earlier, hitting a coin with the default revolver can split the shot if hit during the right window. There are 2 windows in fact for this to occur. The first being the early window or flash, where you hit the coin right as the flash appears, and the late window, or sing, where you can hear the coin fall or sing during the late period of its arc. The flash starts at about 0.33 seconds, that's 20 frames at 60 frames per second, and the sing window starts at 1 second, or 60 frames at 60 frames per second. Big shout out to Locke for testing this out and actually finding these precise windows. The flash window is only open for so long. At 60 frames per second, you have a 4-frame opening, or 0.067 seconds, to hit the coin and cause the early split. This might seem like it's impossible to hit, but much like everything else you do with the coin, it takes practice to get a feel for it. Split shots can also be chained into multiple splits. This split will hit the other coins and can cause all the other coins to split and hit multiple targets as well. If you practice enough, split shots can become ingrained in your muscle memory and you'll be hitting your early splits almost every time. I should also note that split shots will follow the normal coin priority. When you hit a coin with any hit scan weapon, which includes this list here, the damage of the attack is amplified by a certain amount. The equations themselves are different depending on the weapon type, but for now we'll focus on just the default marksman. The default does a base damage of 1 to the body, and a base damage of 2 to weak points or headshots. Because coins will always attempt to hit a weak point, let's just assume the base damage is 2. For every coin you have out, the damage dealt will be the base damage plus base per coin. So in this case it would be 2 plus 2 times x, where x is the number of coins you have out. 1 coin would do 4, 2 coins would be 6, 3 coins would be 8, and 4 coins would be 10 damage on a single shot. As I said earlier, every hit scan attack in the game can be amplified by coins. The equation for each different type is a bit too complex for myself, so here's the damage from each of these weapons with 1 to 4 coins. Another huge shout out to Locke because he was the one who painstakingly put all this information together in a nice neat document, to which I will be leaving a link in the description. It includes not only coin damage, but damage for every weapon in the game so far, as well as enemy and boss health. In the upcoming update for ULTRAKILL, the alternate revolvers will be getting a special function if you hit the coin at the split shot window. If you shoot the coin during these windows, the number of hits the shot will do to an enemy increases to 3 from 2. Additional coins and hitting the split shot window thereafter will increase the number of hits the shot will do as well. As Hakita explained, 1 split shot equals plus 1 hit to the shot. So if you hit the split window with 2 coins, the hits the shot will do to a single target increases to 4, and so on. The slab charge will function much like this as well. Hitting a split shot window with the charge will increase the hits on a single target from 4 to 7. Additional split shot windows thereafter will increase the hits by 1 for each coin, so 2 coin split shot window will increase the hits on a single target to 8. With a bit of finesse, you can punch a coin after tossing it. This punched coin will bypass the normal coin priority list and only target enemy weak points, or it will target a charging enemy projectile and cause an interruption. The coin will still target the closest enemy or closest charging enemy. To execute a coin punch on the fly, walk back, toss up a coin, then quickly walk forward and punch. If there are no enemies present, the coin will travel to wherever the player is looking and can be juggled off of the wall or the floor. We'll get more into that in just a bit. When a coin hits a target, it will bounce off their weak point and straight up into the air. This coin's split shot state will be reset and can be shot, or you can attempt to punch it again and go for a coin juggle. Now here's where things get very interesting. A punched coin will initially do 1 damage, and if you punch it again, it will have its damage value increased by 1. This was discovered by BGB back in October of 2020. And if you can juggle the coin long enough, you can build up the amount of damage this does to an essentially infinite value. Just recently, Hakita revealed that there will be a damage cap on juggling coins off of walls or floors, but no damage cap when juggling it off of enemies. Here's a clip from BGB's video of him one-shotting Minos with this method with 1 coin. Coin juggling is also used in the fight for V2. Bionic Warrior 12 discovered that you can damage V2 during its intro animation. We now use this for the 1-4 speedruns. Bionic also discovered that if you build up damage on the coin before spawning V2 in, you can kill him as he enters. This bugs out the AI and softlocks the game, as V2 won't die. If you turn on cheats and you have the screwdriver, turn off weapon cooldowns and unload on V2 with it. You'll get some interesting results. You can also propel coins into orbit using the Knuckle Blaster. This tech was first used by Heck Tech, and it involves propelling a coin into the void with a blast from the Knuckle Blaster. You want to time the coin toss right as the KB goes off. With a little bit of practice, the timing isn't difficult at all. You can then toss out another coin and shoot it with the malicious rail cannon for an orbital nuclear bombardment. I should note that this is only really viable in areas with a big open skybox, like some levels of Lust, like the fight with Minos, or in the Cybergrind. We've covered most of the mechanics behind the coin now, but here's where things get really interesting. These are some of the most damaging and high power combos you can pull off in the game. This is known as rail coining. What is rail coining exactly? Rail coining is a technique discovered by Cabal Crow back in a closed beta version of ULTRAKILL. This technique involves hitting one enemy with one rail cannon multiple times by having it bounce off the coins. The simple version is tossing out a coin and shooting it with the blue or red rail cannon. What I want to show you is a more specific and very high damage setup that you can pull off easily, especially on bigger enemies like the Cerberus. It's important that when you perform any form of rail coin technique, you have to toss the coin through the enemy and shoot the blue rail cannon through the enemy as well, as the blue rail pierces. Do not try this with the malicious rail cannon. This is the double coin setup. While the Cerb is getting up, stand back, look up, and toss a coin. Walk forward a bit, look straight, and toss another coin. Quickly switch to the blue rail cannon and fire it at the second coin. If you are quick enough and timed it as the Cerb was standing, the rail cannon will pierce the Cerberus to hit the coin. That coin will then reflect the shot back at the first coin, piercing the Cerberus a second time. The first coin will then reflect that rail cannon and attempt to hit the weak point on the Cerberus. All in all, you should hit him about 3 times. Note this does not do extra damage on weak points. How much damage does this simple double rail coin do? The first shot of the rail cannon will do 8 damage when it pierces the first time. When it reflects off the coin and hits the Cerb again, the damage is amplified to 10. After reflecting off the last coin and hitting the Cerb one last time, the damage of the rail is amplified to 11. In total, that leaves us with a whopping 29 damage. If you get some practice in, you can also try a double rail coin like this. Move forward and toss a coin, then quickly walk back and toss a coin while looking forward. Then swap to the rail and fire. This should have the same effect. Generally speaking, the more coins you try to put into the combo, the harder and more specific the setup will be. And in most cases, with regularly occurring enemies, more than 2 coins is just overkill. However, there are a few places where you can get a nice 4-coin setup. One such place is in 3-1 in the triple Cerb room. While the 2 Cerbs are waking up, you can toss 2 coins up, move forward, and toss 2 coins forward. If you get the timing right, you can potentially kill both Cerbs with a single rail coin setup and all 4 coins. You can also try this on Gabriel between phases. Stand under him and toss up the 4 coins and rail. It should do a massive amount of damage to him. But sometimes this setup won't always be the most consistent with damage. Getting hit or knocked back might mess up with your alignment, or sometimes coins will be blasted away and fall out of line themselves. This next technique is the younger and more complex version of the rail coin. This is known as coin adding. Coin adding is a technique discovered by Travis back in October 29th of 2020. He first demonstrated this when looking for a new method to rail coin Swords Machine and lower the time for the fight in 0-3. This was the result of his testing. So what's going on here? While SM is down, Travis tosses a coin forward, then walks back and tosses a coin up. He fires the rail cannon and quickly swaps to the marksman to toss out the last 2 coins. Those coins are then directly inside Sword Machine's hitbox, and those 2 new coins will be targeted by the rail cannon when they become active. Coin adding is typically more consistent with hits and damage since the last 2 coins are being thrown directly into enemies. But here's the catch with this tech. It will only work during the large hit stun periods of big hits on heavier targets like the Cerberus or Malicious Face. Low health enemies like the Street Cleaner will die too early, and if you don't switch out to the Marksman during the slowdown, the Rail Cannon will have already hit its targets and will not target the 2 new coins tossed out. There's also the dead time I mentioned earlier in the video you have to consider as well. To make this setup much easier to do, it's best to put the Marksman, either one works, on first for your revolver, and the blue Rail Cannon on first as well. Now that we know all this, let's take a look at how to set this up again. Here are 2 Cerbs. What you'll want to do is toss a coin forward, walk back, and toss a coin up. Then quickly swap and fire the Rail Cannon to the first coin. Swap back immediately to the Marksman and toss out your last 2 coins. If done correctly, you should be able to melt these 2 Cerbs no problem. Here are a few examples during a run where you can set up a coin ad. At Hideous Mass, toss 2 coins into the red area on the chest, fire, and quickly add your coins. Swords Machine. Move forward and toss, then back and toss, and quickly add the coins. This one is a bit more difficult to pull off since SM has a smaller hitbox. The 2 Cerberus in the 0-5 speedruns. The 2 Cerberus here in 3-1. At Gabriel, toss 3 coins this time, fire, jump up a bit, and toss your last coin. The most impressive coin ad I've seen, this method discovered by Travis, toss a coin up, punch it, and it'll aim for Minos' head. Toss another coin and punch it again, then toss a 3rd coin, fire the Rail Cannon, and then toss your last coin. As you can see, this is a destructive combo. It takes some practice to pull it off, but the outcome is worth it, I assure you. Whew, there we go. That's about everything we have on coins right now. They're a lot more complex than you probably initially thought, huh? They're so iconic to ULTRAKILL and so fun, and it's these little complexities that really make them so much fun to use. I would like to thank both BGB and Locke for originally compiling the data for coins in the first place, and for the help in correcting some information I used in the video. I also want to thank my friends in the ULTRAKILL speedrun community for giving me feedback on my original draft of this video. Without their help, this video wouldn't have been nearly as interesting and not as accurate either. I love you guys. And thanks to WeAll for lending their voice as V1 at the start of this video for that little clip. I'll leave a link to their channel and the channels of everyone else who's helped me out here. So take this knowledge and go get some stylish plays and kills. And most of all, practice. These coins are such an amazing tool, and I hope you guys have fun with them. Take care. Oh yeah, you can do this too.